Right. Let's go into this one. So this lady is trying to find out. She wants to be sure. She doesn't know what she has seen, but she wants to be sure that what she saw is not actually what she has just seen. I hope I said that right. But anyway, so she says she just watched her husband cheat on her in a threesome. I want to find out if actually that's what she saw. I actually don't know what to make of this. I'm so confused and honestly hurt. I'm not sure that anyone will have any advice, but if you do, please, I need someone's help. My husband and I, for the majority of our relationship, have been very open for non-monogamous sex. Never by ourselves, but with each other and another person. Like I said, I think you guys are just making relationships or marriage complicated as the days go by. Something which was so simple. Generally, it's one man, one woman. We're taking away all of the flaws of the human nature. Just one man, one woman, faithfully in a committed relationship, not just to serve themselves, but also to serve the community at large and the human race at large by delivering children. And then these children, eventually raising these children up in a manner in which they can be productive to the society and contribute towards making the world a better place. No, that's too simple. Let's complicate it. Let me and my husband be open to having sex with another partner. So what she's basically saying here is, all right, our sex life is like this, or their sex life is like this. They all open to having sex outside of their relationship, but not by themselves. So it means they must always do it together and with another person who they choose. Which, like I said, we just keep complicating very simple things of life. But let's go ahead. Over the years, we've had many threesomes with other girls, and we've both very much enjoyed it. For the past like 2-ish years, we've had one standard other girl who we would see a lot. We stopped seeing her because she wanted to explore more serious relationships, and that was totally fine. Alright, since then, my husband has been interested in trying it out with another specific girl. I was open to it, obviously, when we met with her several times. She was very attractive, kind, and confident with this whole thing. Bucket, which is important because I hate the in quote shy persona. I thought she was a great match. Yet, when we had our first encounter, I realized quickly I was more a bystander than an active participant. You see why now he wanted that particular girl? Bruh, like I said, when you play with fire, you eventually get burnt. As much as today's society is very liberal and open to so many non-traditional lifestyles and patterns and desires. He literally is basically human beings fulfilling their lusts in whatever way they can. And it has been so bad to the level where it has entered into the family. And it's like women within the family, you have people eventually reaching out and doing things they ought not to in a marriage from a marriage perspective. Someone eventually always gets hurt. And he always seems to with you. Alright, so let's let's go out. Let's go ahead. I actually felt like that scene in Friends where Ross says he was just there with Carol and Susan. I have nothing to say towards this because unfortunately, well, let me not say unfortunately, because unlike many other people, I still have not watched Friends. So I literally am behind, man. I'm behind. She was all over my husband. We were literally have sex so fine, but it was just entirely too much. Every time my husband tried to make her include me, if you know what I mean, she simply wouldn't. Even though we all said, all of this is fine. When they were having sex, they could have thrown up. It was so intimate. Never is like that. The way they were looking at each other, it brought tears to my eyes. I think this is what in this couple. There's this one couple, this couple who are porn stars of a couple who eventually basically what has always been happening was they've always been having this their threesome stuff. It's always been, and then eventually we tried a meal, and in my opinion, it brought tears to his eyes. Like I said, when you play with fire, you get burnt. Because I literally don't see how. It's basically the human emotions, especially I think, especially from the female side. It's so complex and it's very, what's the word for it? It's very, very subtle in terms of how easy it is for you to eventually either catch emotions or realize that you're getting hurt by something you thought you never could get hurt by, or sometimes also get emotional towards something you thought you will never get emotional towards. So at the end of the day, the best advice is always like shy away from such kind of things, especially consistent involvement in such kind of an activity. Because in an activity like this, I literally, whenever I hear about this kind of couples who are open to have threesomes, open to explore outside, I literally don't consider that as one of the major steps towards eventually just ruining your relationship or ruining whatever marriage you have. Because when you, it's literally a wall, like a small hole in the wall. When you allow that hole, like maybe water flowing through a little hole, over time the hole eventually expands. And that's just how it is. So you built up a wall in your relationship where it's just two parties, the man and the woman, which is supposed to be, it has been instituted that way so many times. We don't, until we are in a situation like this where there is basically society falling on all sides. All of the things which formed traditional society in those like years past have literally been infiltrated by various modern concepts, and so right now we are basically just seeing the consequences of those actions. Now we get to see many reasons why the traditional values which were taught in days past or in years past were taught mostly for preserving the human or the individual, and also preserving the society as a whole. It's because of situations like this. But anyway, like I said, let's continue. Let's see into it. Let's keep on going. When we were looking at each other, it brought tears into my eyes. I was literally sitting there on the bed, completely naked, watching my husband make love to another woman. Not another woman, because that doesn't bother me. But make love to another woman. Two different things. This is sad. But like I said, I personally don't see, I don't feel very empathetic towards the just based on the perspective of like I said, this is just my own presupposed position in terms of like, oh, this never ends well. Like literally it never ends well. And it never ends well because of situations like this which eventually come up. She continues, I asked my husband afterwards what that was all about, and he admitted that she was a little too into him and not enough into me. That's you, the lady. We both said she's probably not a good match, and that sucks. But he says it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, because he enjoyed it. To me, it's a big deal. He should. I feel horrible. I mean, I know we have an unusual situation, but like, you would feel horrible too, right? Would you? Would you feel horrible too? He apologized, but I just can't get the image out of my head. I don't think you anytime soon you'll get that image out of your head. Especially also if people eventually ever meet this lady again. Like I've said, this is practically a situation or one of the major results of open relationships. I don't want to go back into like the Will Smith and the Jaden Smith all over again. It basically was the same kind of a situation. Now, one thing with celebrity relationships is only the things that leak through the crack are the things you eventually get to see. It might be a whole bigger mess behind, but you have no idea of how big of a mess it is. But situations like this, we get to give us real life examples of how big of a mess it is. But anyway, I don't want to go into this. Like literally every single comment to this particular story is basically individuals giving long messages and long stories about their opinions about this and probably similar experience towards that. But I want you to be the judge of it yourselves. You've heard the story. What do you think? Do you think she has any right to feel jealous? And generally, I just want to hear what's your whole opinion about the whole open relationship stuff as a whole. All right, big ups. Till next time.